Imagine a thriving city in the middle of an unforgiving desert, bustling with life, its people mastering the harsh environment with advanced engineering, trade, and culture. Now, picture that same city disappearing entirely, leaving behind only whispers of its existence. No ruins, no definitive records, just an empty stretch of sand where a civilization once thrived. How could an entire city, possibly even an empire, vanish without a trace? Throughout history, deserts have swallowed entire civilizations, burying their secrets beneath shifting sands. From the Arabian Peninsula to the vast Sahara, and from Central Asia to the American Southwest, lost desert cities have fascinated historians and archaeologists for centuries. These were not mere villages but sophisticated societies with complex infrastructure, written records, and trade routes stretching thousands of miles. Yet, today, many of these cities exist only in legends, ancient manuscripts, or fragmented ruins waiting to be uncovered. The allure of these lost desert cities is undeniable. Some of them, like Ubar, often referred to as the Atlantis of the sands, were rediscovered through modern technology, while others remain nothing more than mythical tales. Petra, a breathtaking rock-carved city in Jordan, still stands as a reminder of the Nabateans' engineering genius, yet its once thriving civilization collapsed mysteriously. The kingdom of Zerzura, supposedly hidden within the Libyan desert, has enticed explorers for centuries, yet no one has ever found definitive proof of its existence. The fortress of Djado in the Sahara, abandoned centuries ago, holds eerie secrets, while the Garamantes, once masters of desert survival, seem to vanish overnight. What caused these advanced civilizations to disappear? Theories range from brutal invasions to climate catastrophes, resource depletion, and even supernatural folklore passed down through generations. Could shifting sands have simply buried these cities, preserving them beneath the desert floor? Were they victims of prolonged droughts, making survival impossible? Or did something more mysterious drive their people away, forcing them to abandon their homes forever? As the modern world continues to expand, researchers and archaeologists are using cutting-edge technology like satellite imaging and LiDAR scanning to uncover lost cities that were once thought to be myths. With every new discovery, history is rewritten, challenging what we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. In this deep dive, we will explore the world's most famous lost desert cities, some rediscovered, others still shrouded in mystery. From Ubar, the legendary city swallowed by the earth, to Petra, the ghostly remains of a once powerful trade empire, and the unsolved riddles of Zerzura, Djado, and the Garamantes. These are not just stories of the past. They are windows into the resilience of human civilization and the unforgiving nature of our planet. Prepare to uncover fact-based case studies, shocking discoveries, and unsolved mysteries that continue to baffle experts to this day. The truth about these lost desert cities is more astonishing than fiction. The enigma of Ubar, the Atlantis of the sands, a lost city of legend. Deep in the unforgiving deserts of the Arabian Peninsula, whispers of a lost city have persisted for centuries. A city so wealthy, so powerful, that its extravagance was said to have angered the heavens. This was Ubar, often identified with the legendary Irem of the Pillars, a city mentioned in the Quran and in Arab folklore as a prosperous yet arrogant civilization that vanished without a trace. For generations, historians and explorers debated whether Ubar was a real place or merely a cautionary tale passed down through Bedouin traditions. Some believed it was a flourishing trade hub, a critical stop along the incense trade route that once connected southern Arabia to the Mediterranean. Others dismissed it as pure myth, a mirage born from the heat of the desert. But everything changed in the 1990s when modern science and technology provided an answer that had eluded humanity for over 1,000 years. The clues hidden in ancient records. The first references to Ubar come from pre-Islamic poetry and Arab oral traditions, which describe it as a magnificent city with towering pillars and unmatched wealth. According to the Quran, Surah Al-Fajr, 89-68, Iram was a city built by the ancient Ad people, known for its impressive architecture and opulence. However, its people were said to have defied divine warnings, leading to their destruction. The passage suggests that Iram was, like nothing ever created in the lands, a poetic nod to its grandeur. Beyond Islamic texts, Ubar's existence was hinted at by Greek historians such as Ptolemy, who mapped a location named Omanum Emporium, believed to be a major center for the lucrative frankincense trade. Medieval travelers, including the famous Ibn Battuta and Marco Polo, recorded stories of a lost city buried beneath the desert sands, fueling speculation that something had once existed in the barren expanse of Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter. But despite these historical accounts, no physical evidence of Ubar had ever been found. That is, until modern technology provided an unexpected breakthrough. The NASA discovery that changed everything. For centuries, explorers searched in vain for Ubar, relying on ancient maps, Bedouin legends, and educated guesses. But it wasn't until 1992 that the lost city was finally located, not by archaeologists, but by NASA scientists using satellite imaging. A team led by Nicholas Clapp, an archaeologist and filmmaker, worked with NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, to analyze radar satellite images of the vast desert. They noticed something remarkable, an ancient network of trade routes, barely visible beneath the shifting sands. These routes all converged at a single point, suggesting the presence of a major settlement. When an expedition was sent to investigate, they uncovered the remains of what appeared to be an ancient fortress, stone walls, and a large water well system. Excavations at the site, now identified as Shizr in Oman, revealed that this settlement had been a key trading post along the frankincense route. The discovery was hailed as one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century, lending credibility to centuries of myth and speculation. A city swallowed by the earth. The most astonishing part of Ubar's story is how it disappeared. Geological surveys revealed that beneath the city lay a massive underground limestone cavern, a natural formation created over thousands of years by groundwater erosion. At some point in history, this cavern collapsed, causing a devastating sinkhole that swallowed much of the city, leaving behind little more than ruins. This natural catastrophe explains why Ubar disappeared so suddenly, reinforcing the legend of its divine punishment. The discovery of collapsed walls and scattered artifacts suggests that the city's downfall was abrupt, leaving survivors with little time to recover. Some historians believe that the sinkhole event may have been misinterpreted in folklore as divine retribution, turning a geological disaster into a religious and mythical warning. Was Ubar a mythical city or a real trade empire? Even with physical evidence supporting its existence, some scholars argue that the Ubar of legend and the ruins found at Shiza are not the same. Critics suggest that while Shiza was undoubtedly an important trade center, it was not the grand city described in the Quran and medieval texts. Instead, they argue that the legend of Ubar may have been a conflation of multiple ancient cities, exaggerated over centuries into a single, doomed metropolis. Others question whether Ubar was truly swallowed by the earth in one cataclysmic event, or if it simply declined gradually due to shifting trade routes, dwindling water resources, and economic collapse. After all, the frankincense trade, which once made the region immensely wealthy, had already started to decline by the time Ubar supposedly disappeared. The lack of extensive ruins also raises questions. Unlike Petra or other famous lost cities, Ubar's remains are modest in scale, leading some experts to wonder if the real Ubar still lies hidden beneath the desert, waiting to be uncovered by future archaeologists. The lasting mystery of Ubar. Despite the debates, one thing is clear: Ubar was more than just a story. It was a place of economic power, a hub of trade that connected Arabia to the rest of the ancient world. Whether it was truly the fabled Irem of the Pillars or simply one of many lost desert cities, its discovery in 1992 proved that history is still waiting to be rewritten. Today, the ruins of Ubar remain one of the most fascinating archaeological sites in the Middle East. Yet, the true scale of its civilization, the full extent of its wealth, and the secrets buried beneath the desert sands remain a mystery. Could there be even greater ruins still hidden beneath the Rub al-Khali? Could Ubar's sudden disappearance hold clues to other lost civilizations that have yet to be found? As technology continues to evolve, archaeologists may one day uncover more pieces of the puzzle. Until then, the legend of Ubar, the Atlantis of the sands, will continue to capture the imagination of historians, adventurers, and mystery seekers alike. The ghost city of Petra, a desert marvel, a thriving city that became a deserted ruin. Deep in the desert of southern Jordan lies one of the most breathtaking lost cities in human history, Petra. Known as the Rose City due to its stunning pink sandstone cliffs, Petra was once a thriving metropolis, a trade hub where caravans carrying spices, silk, and incense from Arabia, Egypt, and India converged. It was built by the Nabateans, a civilization that mastered the art of survival in one of the most hostile environments on Earth. Today, Petra stands as a haunting ghost city, its elaborate temples, tombs, and dwellings carved into the cliffs. It is one of the most well-preserved lost cities in the world, yet its fall remains a mystery. Why did such a powerful and sophisticated society disappear? Was it simply abandoned due to natural disasters and economic decline, or did something more sinister lead to its downfall? The engineering marvel of the Nabateans. At its height, Petra was home to an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 people, an astonishing number considering it was built in a desert with minimal natural water sources. The Nabateans were experts in hydraulic engineering, creating an advanced irrigation and water storage system that allowed them to thrive where others perished. They built elaborate channels, dams, and reservoirs to collect and store rainfall, ensuring a stable water supply year-round. The Sick, a narrow gorge leading into the city, doubled as a flood control system, diverting excess water to prevent catastrophic destruction. Underground cisterns and pipelines provided fresh water to homes, allowing agriculture to flourish in an otherwise barren landscape. Beyond water management, Petra was also a masterpiece of rock-cut architecture. The Al-Khazna, or Treasury, is the most famous structure in Petra, its intricate facade carved directly into the sandstone cliff. Other structures, such as the monastery, Ad-Dir, and the royal tombs, showcase the Nabateans' artistic and engineering brilliance. Petra's strategic location gave it enormous power. Sitting at the crossroads of trade between Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean, the Nabateans grew wealthy by taxing merchants and controlling the flow of goods. But with wealth comes vulnerability, and Petra's dominance would not last forever. The fall of Petra, a city lost to time. Despite its strength and prosperity, Petra's decline began around the 2nd century AD. Historians believe multiple factors contributed to its downfall, each playing a role in turning the once thriving city into a deserted ruin. One of the key reasons was the shift in trade routes. By the time the Roman Empire annexed Petra in 106 AD, the global trade network had begun to change. New maritime routes became more efficient, bypassing Petra's overland connections. As a result, Petra's significance as a commercial hub diminished, and its economy collapsed. Natural disasters also played a devastating role. Petra was hit by a series of major earthquakes, particularly in 363 AD and 551 AD. These quakes destroyed large portions of the city's infrastructure, including water systems and buildings. With the city already in decline, the destruction caused by these earthquakes may have forced the remaining inhabitants to abandon Petra altogether. Climate change was another factor. Historical climate data suggests that the region became increasingly arid over time, making water storage and agriculture more difficult. The once reliable Nabatean water system could no longer support a dwindling population, leading to further abandonment. By the early medieval period, Petra had become a forgotten relic, known only to local Bedouin tribes. It wasn't until 1812, when Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt disguised himself as an Arab traveler and rediscovered the city, that Petra was introduced to the modern world. Recent discoveries, the secrets beneath the sandstone. Despite being one of the most studied archaeological sites in the world, Petra still holds many secrets. In recent years, new discoveries have reshaped our understanding of the city's past. Archaeologists have found underground chambers and hidden structures beneath Petra's famous monuments. Using satellite imaging and ground-penetrating radar, researchers have identified a massive ceremonial platform buried beneath the sand. This platform, located near the treasury, suggests that Petra may have been even more significant as a religious or political center than previously thought. Hidden inscriptions and carvings have also provided new insights into the daily lives of the Nabateans. Some of these inscriptions, written in Aramaic and Greek, indicate that Petra was a melting pot of cultures, influenced by Egyptians, Romans, and Persians. One of the most intriguing findings involves the Nabatean water system. Recent excavations have revealed complex underground tunnels and reservoirs, suggesting that Petra's water management was even more advanced than previously believed. Some historians now speculate that Petra could have sustained a much larger population than originally estimated. Did Petra's wealth attract destruction? While natural disasters and economic decline certainly played a role in Petra's downfall, some historians believe that its great wealth made it a target for destruction. The Roman annexation of Petra in 106 AD was not a peaceful transition. Some records suggest that the Romans may have deliberately weakened Petra, shifting trade routes away from the city to benefit Roman-controlled ports. There is also speculation that raids by rival tribes may have forced Petra's remaining inhabitants to flee, turning the city into an uninhabited ruin. Some archaeologists argue that Petra may have been the victim of deliberate sabotage, a strategy used by conquering forces to erase a rival's economic power. After all, Petra's wealth had made it one of the most powerful cities in the ancient world. Could the Nabateans have been forced out by external forces, rather than natural decline alone? There is also the question of Petra's true purpose. While it is widely regarded as a trade hub, some researchers suggest it may have been an important spiritual and religious center. The discovery of underground structures and ceremonial platforms hints at a deeper significance that has yet to be fully understood. If Petra was more than just a commercial city, if it held spiritual or political power that threatened neighboring empires, could that have made it a target for destruction? The legacy of Petra, a city frozen in time. Today, Petra remains one of the most breathtaking archaeological wonders of the world. Designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it attracts millions of visitors every year, standing as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the Nabateans. Yet, for all that is known about Petra, many mysteries remain unsolved. Was it abandoned solely due to economic shifts, earthquakes, and climate change, or did human conflicts accelerate its demise? Were there forces at play that deliberately erased its power and influence? Could there still be hidden structures beneath Petra's sandstone cliffs, waiting to be uncovered? What makes Petra so fascinating is that, despite its abandonment, it has never truly been forgotten. Its breathtaking rock-carved facades continue to inspire awe, its lost history still fuels speculation, and its mysteries remain as intriguing as ever. As archaeologists continue to explore its depths, perhaps the real story of Petra is yet to be told. A hidden oasis of gold and treasure for centuries, whispers of a mysterious lost city called Zerzura have echoed across the deserts of North Africa. A fabled oasis said to be filled with white buildings, lush palm trees, and untold treasures, Zerzura has captured the imagination of explorers, fortune seekers, and historians alike. Unlike other lost desert cities, Zerzura's very existence is debated. Was it a real kingdom lost to time, or merely a mirage in the minds of ancient travelers? Legends of Zerzura date back to ancient Egyptian times, where it was described as a hidden city beyond the sand dunes, untouched by war and decay. Later, Arab and Bedouin traditions expanded on the myth, portraying Zerzura as a paradise in the desert, ruled by a mysterious king and queen with fair skin and blue eyes. It was said that the city's gates were guarded by giant black birds and that its people possessed knowledge of lost sciences and hidden riches. Some stories even claim that anyone who found Zerzura and entered its gates would never return. These tantalizing descriptions sparked the imaginations of many, leading to a series of expeditions throughout the 20th century aimed at uncovering the truth. If Zerzura did exist, where was it? And if it never existed, what inspired such persistent legends? The search for Zerzura, adventurers, Nazis, and secret missions. Throughout history, explorers have risked their lives to uncover the location of Zerzura, believing that hidden among the shifting dunes of the Libyan desert lay a lost kingdom waiting to be rediscovered. The hunt for Zerzura intensified in the early 20th century, when several well-funded expeditions sought to separate fact from fiction. One of the most notable searches was led by British explorer Ralph Bagnall in the 1930s. Using early desert navigation techniques, Bagnall and his team ventured deep into the Sahara, mapping unknown territories and uncovering evidence of ancient civilizations. Although he never found Zerzura itself, his expeditions revealed previously unknown ruins and settlements, raising the possibility that the legend could have been based on real places that had been swallowed by the sands. Even more intriguingly, the search for Zerzura became entangled in World War II intrigue. The Nazis, particularly the German Afrika Korps under General Erwin Rommel, were rumored to have taken a deep interest in Zerzura. Some theories suggest that the Germans searched for the lost city in hopes of finding secret knowledge, hidden treasures, or even tactical locations for military bases. The British, aware of this, intensified their own search efforts, fearing that Zerzura's hidden water sources, if real, could be used by enemy forces. To this day, there is no definitive proof that Zerzura ever existed, yet the number of serious expeditions dedicated to finding it suggests that many believed in the possibility of its reality. Could these missions have been on the brink of uncovering something incredible before war and history buried their findings? Was Zerzura swallowed by the sands, or was it just a mirage? There are several possible explanations for Zerzura's legend. One of the most widely accepted theories is that Zerzura was not a single lost city, but rather a collection of forgotten oases and settlements that were gradually consumed by the desert. The Sahara Desert was not always the arid wasteland it is today. Thousands of years ago, much of North Africa was lush and fertile, dotted with small kingdoms that relied on underground water sources. Over time, climate change turned fertile lands into desert, forcing these civilizations to migrate or perish. It is possible that Zerzura was one such settlement, and its disappearance led to the birth of legend. Another explanation suggests that Zerzura was a mirage, a natural illusion caused by the intense heat of the desert. Many explorers, including those in the 20th century, reported seeing shimmering images of lakes and cities in the distance, only to find nothing when they arrived. If ancient travelers witnessed similar optical illusions, it could have given rise to the story of a hidden paradise. Some researchers have speculated that Zerzura may have been an outpost of an already known civilization, such as the Garamantes, a powerful desert kingdom that once thrived in what is now Libya. The Garamantes were known for their underground water tunnels, which allowed them to survive in the harsh desert. Could their advanced knowledge have inspired the stories of a hidden city where people lived in luxury while others struggled to survive? Archaeological clues. Have we already found Zerzura? Despite the lack of direct evidence for Zerzura, recent discoveries suggest that there may be more truth to the legend than previously thought. Satellite imagery and ground-penetrating radar have revealed traces of ancient roads, settlements, and water systems buried beneath the desert. In 2011, archaeologists using satellite scans discovered over 100 previously unknown fortified villages and towns in the Libyan desert, suggesting that entire civilizations once thrived in the area before the sands consumed them. Another compelling find was the discovery of hidden rock inscriptions and cave paintings, some dating back over 10,000 years. These paintings depict scenes of large rivers, animals, and even human figures engaging in what appears to be social or ritual activity. Could these images be remnants of a once thriving culture that inspired the legend of Zerzura? More recently, researchers have suggested that hidden structures beneath the dunes could be remnants of forgotten settlements. Using advanced LiDAR, light detection and ranging technology, scientists are beginning to scan vast desert landscapes in search of clues. Some believe it is only a matter of time before we discover the true origins of the Zerzura legend. Could Zerzura still be hidden beneath the sands? The greatest mystery surrounding Zerzura is whether it remains hidden, waiting to be rediscovered, or if it ever existed at all. Some alternative historians argue that the desert still holds many secrets, and the Zerzura, if real, may lie beneath an unexplored stretch of the Sahara. Others suggest that the legend has grown beyond reality, combining fragments of history, myths, and exaggerations into a single, mysterious tale. Even if Zerzura never existed as a singular city, the number of lost civilizations uncovered in recent years proves that deserts are capable of erasing entire societies from history. With modern technology advancing rapidly, the search for Zerzura may not be over. LiDAR scanning, AI analysis, and deep Earth imaging could one day uncover hidden ruins buried beneath centuries of shifting sands. If a discovery were made, it would not only rewrite history but also validate a legend that has persisted for over 1,000 years. Until then, Zerzura remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, a lost city that might exist only in legend, or perhaps still waiting beneath the desert for the right explorer to uncover its secrets. The mystery of Djado, the forgotten fortress of the Sahara, an ancient citadel with no known builders, deep within the vast and desolate Sahara Desert, the ruins of an ancient fortress stand in eerie silence. This is Djado, a mysterious citadel located in present-day Niger, and one of the most perplexing archaeological enigmas of Africa. Unlike the famous lost cities of the world, Djado is not widely known, nor is its history well documented. The massive mud brick structures that make up the ruins seem to belong to an advanced society, yet there are no written records of who built them or when. The fortress appears to have been a stronghold, likely occupied by a powerful civilization that once thrived in the region. However, its origin remains a mystery, as does the reason for its abandonment. What makes Djado particularly intriguing is its isolated location. Found in the heart of the Tenere Desert, an unforgiving stretch of the Sahara, Djado's ruins are surrounded by nothing but barren land. The few remnants of life include oases, which suggest that the city was once a thriving settlement before nature reclaimed it. But who were its inhabitants, and why did they vanish? Theories of abandonment. What happened to Djado? Several theories attempt to explain the fate of Djado, but none provide definitive answers. One of the most widely accepted explanations is that the city succumbed to extreme desertification. Thousands of years ago, the Sahara was a green and fertile land, home to lakes, rivers, and abundant wildlife. This period, known as the African Humid Period, allowed civilizations to flourish in what is now an arid wasteland. However, as climate patterns shifted, the once fertile region began to dry up, transforming into the world's largest desert. If Djado was built during a time when the Sahara was still habitable, it is possible that its population was forced to abandon it as water sources disappeared and the land became inhospitable. Another possibility is that invasion and warfare played a role in Djado's decline. The Sahara was not always a deserted expanse. Historical evidence suggests that various Berber, Tuareg, and sub-Saharan African groups frequently traveled through the region, often engaging in trade and, at times, conflict. Some researchers believe that Djado may have been attacked or conquered, leading to its eventual abandonment. Adding to the mystery, oral traditions from the Tuareg people, nomads who have roamed the Sahara for centuries, speak of a great fortress that fell to unknown forces. However, there are no records of a major battle, leaving historians to speculate whether Djado was simply deserted over time or if a catastrophic event wiped out his people. Could Djado's civilization have been driven out by an unknown enemy? Or did its people slowly migrate away as survival in the desert became impossible? Strange artifacts, rock art depicting unknown civilizations. One of the most fascinating aspects of Djado is the prehistoric rock art found in the region. These ancient carvings and paintings, scattered across caves and rocky outcrops, depict animals, warriors, and mysterious human-like figures. The artwork suggests that people inhabited this region thousands of years ago, long before the fortress of Djado was built. Some of the carvings show creatures that no longer exist in the Sahara today, such as elephants, giraffes, and crocodiles, indicating that the area was once lush and full of life. Even more intriguing are the humanoid figures depicted in some of the carvings. Some appear to be wearing helmets or strange headgear, leading to speculation that they could represent an unknown ancient civilization. Others believe they could be symbolic representations of deities or supernatural beings worshipped by early desert societies. Adding another layer of mystery, some of these petroglyphs bear no resemblance to known African cultures, leading some historians to question whether Djado was part of an undiscovered kingdom that has yet to be identified. If the fortress was built on top of an even older settlement, it could mean that Djado's true history stretches back much further than previously thought. Modern-day sightings, the legends of Djado's ghostly presence. Even in its abandoned state, Djado continues to intrigue those who pass through the region. The Tuareg nomads, who occasionally stop near the ruins, claim that Djado is haunted. Stories of strange lights, eerie whispers, and ghostly apparitions have circulated among travelers and locals for centuries. Some claim that at night, unseen forces move through the ruins, with flickering lights appearing in the darkness. Others say they have heard murmurs and echoes of a lost people, their voices carried by the desert wind. While these tales could be attributed to superstition, the number of similar accounts is difficult to ignore. Paranormal researchers suggest that Djado's ruins may hold residual energy, especially if its inhabitants suffered a tragic fate. Skeptics argue that the extreme silence of the desert, combined with natural sounds like shifting sands and wind currents, could create the illusion of ghostly whispers. Whether supernatural or not, the mystique of Djado continues to grow, drawing occasional explorers and researchers eager to uncover its secrets. Could Djado be an undiscovered lost kingdom? For all that is known about Djado, the fortress still raises more questions than answers. Could Djado be part of a forgotten empire, one that has yet to be fully identified by historians? Some researchers suggest that Djado may have been an important trade post, connecting North Africa to sub-Saharan regions long before recorded history. If this is true, then Djado's true significance has been vastly underestimated. Other theories propose that Djado may have been linked to the Garamantes, a powerful desert civilization that existed in what is now Libya. The Garamantes were known for their sophisticated underground irrigation systems and their ability to survive in the harsh desert. Could Djado have been one of their outposts, abandoned when their empire fell? Alternatively, some believe that Djado was not a single city, but part of a larger network of settlements that have yet to be uncovered. Given the vast size of the Sahara and its ability to bury entire civilizations under shifting dunes, it is possible that more ruins like Djado exist, hidden beneath the sands, waiting to be discovered. With modern technology such as LiDAR scanning and satellite imaging, archaeologists are beginning to uncover evidence of lost settlements beneath the desert floor. Future expeditions may finally determine whether Djado was an isolated fortress or part of a once thriving kingdom that history has forgotten. Until then, Djado remains one of the Sahara's greatest mysteries, a silent reminder that even in the most barren landscapes, the echoes of lost civilizations continue to call out from the past. The disappearance of the Garamantes, the desert engineers, a civilization ahead of its time. In the scorching heat of the Libyan desert, an advanced civilization thrived for centuries, mastering the harsh environment in ways that defied logic. These were the Garamantes, a people who built a powerful kingdom in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. Unlike the shifting nomadic tribes that roamed the Sahara, the Garamantes were city builders, traders, and engineers who found a way to turn the desert into a thriving society. The Garamantes controlled a significant portion of what is now southern Libya, establishing their capital at Jerma, a city surrounded by fertile land they had created themselves. While much of North Africa was struggling with the increasing desertification of the Sahara, the Garamantes devised a solution that would allow them to flourish where others could not, a complex network of underground water tunnels known as the fogaras. Their engineering feats were centuries ahead of their time, making them one of the most resourceful civilizations in ancient Africa. Yet, despite their brilliance, the Garamantes eventually disappeared, leaving behind only ruins, buried cities, and traces of a kingdom that once stood as a beacon of human resilience. How could a civilization that was so advanced simply vanish? Did they collapse due to environmental catastrophe, war, or something even more mysterious? The desert engineers, masters of water management, and the survival of any civilization depends on access to water, and the Garamantes were masters of its control. Unlike the Egyptians, who relied on the Nile, or the Romans, who built elaborate aqueducts, the Garamantes created an underground irrigation system that allowed them to thrive deep in the desert. Their foggaras, underground water tunnels, functioned similarly to the qanat systems of Persia, drawing water from underground sources and channeling it to the surface. This system enabled them to irrigate farmland, grow crops such as grapes, wheat, and dates, and support a stable population in the middle of an arid wasteland. At their peak, the Garamantes were producing enough food to sustain tens of thousands of people, transforming parts of the Libyan desert into fertile land. Their mastery of water allowed them to maintain a structured society with cities, roads, and even fortresses, making them one of the most remarkable civilizations of their time. But despite their ingenuity, the Garamantes were not an isolated people. Their location placed them at the crossroads of Africa, making them valuable trading partners and formidable enemies. The Lost Kingdom of Zerzura, fact or fiction? The Roman confrontation, war in the Sahara. For centuries, the Garamantes remained independent, engaging in trade with Mediterranean civilizations, sub-Saharan Africa, and the Middle East. Their caravans transported gold, ivory, and slaves, establishing them as an economic powerhouse in the desert. However, their growing influence caught the attention of the Roman Empire, which saw the Garamantes as both a threat and an opportunity. The Garamantes often raided Roman provinces in North Africa, targeting settlements in what is now Tunisia and Algeria. In response, Rome launched a series of military campaigns against them. The first major Roman conflict with the Garamantes took place in 19 BC, when the Roman general Lucius Cornelius Balbus led a force deep into the desert. The Garamantes, who were skilled desert warriors, used their superior knowledge of the terrain to resist Roman incursions, but they could not stop Rome's military machine forever. By the 2nd century AD, the Romans had gained the upper hand, establishing military outposts along the edges of Garamantian territory. The Garamantes, once fierce raiders, were forced to adapt or be destroyed. Some sources suggest they began trading with Rome instead of fighting, supplying them with exotic goods in exchange for protection. However, as Rome itself began to decline in the 3rd and 4th centuries AD, the Garamantes faced an even greater challenge, one that no military force could stop. The Vanishing Act, climate change and desertification. One of the most compelling theories behind the disappearance of the Garamantes is climate change and desertification. Historical climate data indicates that the Sahara Desert was once a much greener and wetter region, allowing civilizations to develop in areas that are now barren. However, over thousands of years, the Sahara underwent a dramatic transformation, becoming the harsh desert we see today. As temperatures increased and rainfall became less frequent, underground water reserves started to dry up, making it increasingly difficult for the Garamantes to sustain their civilization. By the 5th century AD, the once thriving kingdom had entered a period of rapid decline. Their foggaras, which depended on underground water sources, became less effective as groundwater levels dropped. Without sufficient water to support their agriculture, cities were abandoned, and people were forced to migrate. This theory suggests that the Garamantes didn't vanish suddenly but rather faded away gradually, their population dispersing into smaller tribes that eventually merged with other African cultures. However, recent discoveries suggest that their story may not be so simple. Buried cities, new archaeological findings. For centuries, the ruins of the Garamantes remained largely untouched, hidden beneath the shifting sands of Libya. But recent advancements in satellite imaging and ground-penetrating radar have uncovered entire lost cities buried beneath the desert. In 2011, a team of archaeologists using Google Earth made an astonishing discovery: over 100 previously unknown fortified villages and towns scattered across the Libyan desert. These settlements, many of them completely covered by sand, provide evidence that the Garamantes were far more advanced than previously thought. Some of these sites contain massive underground tunnels and reservoirs, suggesting that the Garamantes may have tried to adapt to changing environmental conditions for longer than previously assumed. However, as their water sources eventually disappeared, their ability to maintain these cities became impossible. The discoveries also challenged the idea that the Garamantes simply vanished. Instead, some archaeologists now believe that many of them migrated to other regions, possibly integrating into North African and Sub-Saharan societies. Did the Garamantes migrate, or did they disappear forever? The question remains: did the Garamantes truly vanish, or did they adapt and continue in another form? Some historians believe that as their cities became uninhabitable, the Garamantes did not die out but instead joined other African civilizations, merging with groups in present-day Mali, Chad, and Niger. If this theory is correct, then the descendants of the Garamantes may still exist today, their legacy hidden in the bloodlines of modern North African communities. Others argue that the Garamantes were victims of a slow but inevitable extinction. As the Sahara continued to expand, their ability to sustain themselves diminished until they could no longer survive. With no written records of their own, and only fragmentary Roman sources describing them, the true fate of the Garamantes remains uncertain. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is undeniable: the Garamantes were one of the most advanced desert civilizations in history, proving that human ingenuity can thrive even in the harshest conditions. Their underground water tunnels, their ability to build cities in one of the world's most extreme environments, and their impact on trade and warfare continue to fascinate archaeologists and historians. And with modern technology revealing new sites every year, it is possible that we are only beginning to uncover the true extent of their civilization. Could there still be undiscovered Garamantean cities buried beneath the Sahara, waiting to be revealed? Or did their people simply walk away from history, leaving behind only ruins and a mystery that endures to this day? Are there more lost desert cities waiting to be discovered? The desert, a natural time capsule for lost civilizations. For centuries, deserts have held secrets buried beneath their ever-shifting sands. Unlike rainforests or coastal regions where time and weather erode structures, deserts act as natural preservers, covering ancient ruins with layers of sand and shielding them from the elements. Some of the world's most significant archaeological discoveries, like Ubar, Petra, and Djado, were hidden beneath the dunes for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. But if these cities could be lost for so long, how many more remain undiscovered? The sheer scale of the Sahara, Arabian, and Gobi deserts makes exploration difficult. Covering an area of over 9 million square kilometers, the Sahara alone is larger than the entire United States, and much of it remains unexplored. Shifting sand dunes can reach heights of 500 feet, completely engulfing cities and settlements over time. Some researchers estimate that less than 10% of desert archaeological sites have been uncovered, meaning that vast portions of human history are still waiting to be revealed. The existence of undocumented trade routes, forgotten kingdoms, and entire lost cities is almost a certainty. In the past, the only way to locate these sites was through old maps, ancient texts, and local legends, methods that were often unreliable. But now, thanks to cutting-edge technology, the way we explore deserts is changing. How technology is revolutionizing desert archaeology. The biggest challenge in uncovering lost desert cities has always been accessibility. Traditional excavation techniques require teams to physically survey and dig, an approach that is costly, time-consuming, and often hindered by extreme desert conditions. However, recent advances in LiDAR, satellite imaging, and eye analysis are revolutionizing how archaeologists search for lost civilizations. LiDAR, light detection and ranging, is one of the most important breakthroughs in modern archaeology. This technology uses laser pulses to map the terrain, revealing hidden structures beneath layers of sand. Unlike aerial photography, which only captures what is visible to the eye, LiDAR can penetrate sand dunes, identifying buried walls, roads, and entire cities. Satellite imaging has also played a crucial role in recent discoveries. In 2011, researchers using Google Earth identified over 100 lost settlements in the Libyan desert, some of which belonged to the Garamantes civilization. High-resolution satellite scans of Saudi Arabia and Iran have also uncovered what appear to be vast networks of buried ruins, suggesting the presence of forgotten cities. Artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning are now being used to analyze vast amounts of historical and geographical data. By processing satellite images and historical records, AI can detect patterns and anomalies that indicate possible locations of lost cities. Some programs can even predict where ancient civilizations may have existed, based on known climate data, trade routes, and historical migration patterns. With these tools at their disposal, archaeologists are now able to explore regions that were once thought to be impossible to study. But even with these advancements, new discoveries still rely on scientific curiosity, careful analysis, and sometimes, pure luck. Recent discoveries, ancient cities emerging from the sand in the last 2 decades, technology has helped uncover several previously unknown desert civilizations. Some of the most intriguing discoveries include buried ruins in Saudi Arabia and Iran, where archaeologists are finding evidence of cities that predate recorded history. One of the most groundbreaking findings came in 2017, when archaeologists using satellite scans discovered a massive structure in northwestern Saudi Arabia, now known as Al-Ula. This site contains hundreds of mysterious rectangular stone structures, some estimated to be over 7,000 years old, older than Stonehenge or the Great Pyramids of Giza. Researchers believe this may have been part of an ancient trade network or ceremonial site, but its true purpose remains unknown. Similarly, in Iran's Dasht-e-Lut desert, satellite imaging has revealed undocumented city walls and roadways beneath the sand. These structures suggest the presence of an advanced society that existed thousands of years ago, possibly connected to the lost civilizations of Mesopotamia or the Indus Valley. Given that much of Iran's desert regions remain unexplored, some archaeologists believe that more lost cities will emerge in the coming decades. Another significant discovery occurred in 2016, when researchers found traces of an ancient civilization in the Taklamakan Desert of China. This vast desert, one of the driest in the world, has yielded mummies, wooden structures, and artifacts belonging to a culture that thrived along the Silk Road. Some speculate that entire lost cities may still lie beneath its dunes, waiting to be rediscovered. These findings suggest that human history is far more complex than previously thought. While history books often focus on major civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Rome, there may be entire empires that have been erased by time, hidden beneath the sand. The future of desert exploration. What's next? With every new discovery, the timeline of human civilization expands. But what does the future of desert archaeology hold? Experts believe that future expeditions will rely heavily on artificial intelligence and remote sensing, making exploration more precise and efficient. One of the most exciting prospects is the use of ground-penetrating drones, which can scan vast areas of desert terrain without disturbing the environment. These drones, equipped with LiDAR and infrared imaging, could potentially map entire lost cities within hours, allowing archaeologists to pinpoint excavation sites with extreme accuracy. Additionally, researchers are beginning to study climate patterns and geological shifts to predict where lost cities may be buried. By understanding how ancient river systems and weather patterns changed over time, archaeologists can reconstruct the movements of past civilizations, leading them to potential discovery sites. Some even speculate that desert archaeology could reveal connections between civilizations that were previously thought to be unrelated. Could there be hidden links between ancient African, Middle Eastern, and Asian societies that we have yet to uncover? The coming years will likely bring groundbreaking revelations, not just about specific cities, but about human migration, trade, and survival in extreme environments. Could our understanding of history be completely rewritten? If deserts continue to reveal lost cities at the rate they have in recent decades, historians may be forced to rethink much of what we know about ancient civilizations. For example, many scholars have long assumed that Egypt and Mesopotamia were the first great civilizations, but what if equally advanced societies existed deep in the Sahara or Arabian Peninsula? Could there have been an empire that rivaled the power of the Greeks and Romans, only to be swallowed by the sands? The possibility of an undiscovered civilization that predates recorded history is no longer just a theory, it is a very real possibility. The evidence is mounting that entire chapters of human history remain unwritten, hidden beneath the shifting dunes of the world's vast deserts. As technology continues to push the boundaries of exploration, it is not a question of if more lost desert cities will be found, but when. The next great discovery could rewrite history, challenging everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. Could it be that the most powerful civilization in history was one we haven't even discovered yet? The cities that vanished without a trace. The vast deserts of the world hold some of the most fascinating and perplexing mysteries of human history. From the legendary Ubar, swallowed by a sinkhole, to the rock-carved majesty of Petra, abandoned after trade routes collapsed, to the enigmatic Zerzura, whose very existence is debated, each of these lost cities tells a story of human ingenuity, survival, and eventual decline. The fortress of Djado, shrouded in mystery and ghostly folklore, stands as a silent sentinel in the Sahara, while the Garamantes, the desert engineers of Libya, defied nature itself with their underground water tunnels. These civilizations thrived in some of the harshest environments on Earth, yet today, they are little more than ruins, buried beneath layers of shifting sands. The question remains, how many more lost cities remain hidden, waiting to be discovered? As deserts continue to conceal their secrets, modern archaeology is beginning to reveal just how many ancient civilizations have been forgotten. Why deserts preserve the past better than other landscapes? Unlike other environments where ruins are eroded by wind, rain, and vegetation, deserts act as natural time capsules, preserving cities beneath layers of sand. The arid climate slows decay, meaning that structures, artifacts, and even ancient texts can remain intact for thousands of years. This is why deserts often yield some of the most stunning archaeological finds. Petra, the pyramids of Egypt, and the ruins of ancient Mesopotamian cities have been exceptionally well preserved, allowing us to reconstruct their histories with incredible detail. And with new technologies such as LiDAR, satellite imaging, and eye analysis, these silent landscapes are finally beginning to reveal their secrets. Yet, while the preservation of these sites offers a glimpse into the past, it also serves as a warning for the future. Lessons from lost civilizations, the warning of history. The stories of these lost cities are not just tales of mystery and adventure, they are lessons in climate change, resource depletion, and human resilience. Many of these civilizations collapsed because of natural disasters, prolonged droughts, and the depletion of critical resources. The Garamantes mastered water conservation, yet their underground tunnels could not keep up with the growing desertification of the Sahara. The Nabateans of Petra thrived as a trade empire, but when economic shifts rendered them obsolete, they could not sustain their great city. Ubar, a legendary trade hub, vanished in an instant, swallowed by the very ground it stood on. These events mirror modern challenges. As the world grapples with climate change, deforestation, and unsustainable consumption, we must ask ourselves, are we doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past? How secure is our own civilization? If entire cities, once wealthy, powerful, and seemingly invincible, could disappear without a trace, what does that mean for us today? Human civilization now spans the globe, interconnected like never before. But history has shown that even the greatest societies can fall, often not in a sudden catastrophe, but in a slow, steady decline. What if the forces that destroyed these ancient cities, climate shifts, resource depletion, economic collapse, are already at work today? The lost cities of the desert are not just relics of the past, they are cautionary tales for the present and the future. Their stories remind us that no civilization, no matter how advanced, is immune to the passage of time. Perhaps the greatest question we must ask ourselves is not just how these cities were lost, but whether we are next.